Thanks, brother. Great job this week, man. If you want to get more of Danny J and the crew, man, this is the place to be. I would definitely consider signing up and being part of this team because, whew, man, it's all I can do to keep up with all these master professional traders around here. But anyway, great job this week, Danny. We'll talk to you soon, man. Have a great weekend. All right. Matthew, I'm going to go right to Matthew. Matthew, I'm sorry I didn't record the session, but I'll go ahead and record this session. Let me get this going. So that won't be on YouTube, but I'll go ahead and record now if I can figure out how to record. It's always different. Where's my record button?
Jonny, I think you are recording. I didn't stop it.
Oh, you didn't stop it?
I don't think I stopped it yesterday too, so I'm not just sure exactly what you're talking about. But if it was
okay,
the one after me, it probably kept going.
Oh, so you were recording. That's right, and you never stopped it. So yes, Matthew, it will be on YouTube, right, Danny? They're getting put on the public domain
to YouTube. So yeah, if anybody has that link, if you guys want to pop that into the chat pane but yeah, anything that's getting recorded this week will be on YouTube. And I think for the most part, everything really has been. So
okay. Sounds good. So Matthew, the answer is yes. And if that doesn't come out, then send us an email. You can hit me at johnny@reallifetrading.com or anybody, Danny, Stephen, anybody's first name, you can hit us at our emails, or if you're already a member, you can hit us up on Slack and we'll get you that video. So we're already recording. Thank you. All right. Sounds good. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's Aloha Friday here in Hawaii. Looking forward to a great, awesome weekend, but we got to go make some money first. So let's get on this. Let's get on it. Hope you guys are doing great. Good morning to everybody. I know some people said good morning to me way back when. Shawnee, good morning. How you doing? Doug, Matthew, appreciate all the good mornings. Adam, how you doing? Kevin, what's going on, my brother? So happy when Kevin Stone is with me, man. I just love that guy in my foxhole with me. Rock is in the house bright and early. All right, sounds good. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for that video, man. Whew. What an awesome video. Sebastian, what's going on? Nelson, GP in the house. How you doing, brother? Tony, let's see, Miss Arnold in the house. How's it going? My favorite gal. Good morning, Gina Morishige and Ronnie. All right. Thanks for the good mornings. You guys make my day when I get good mornings from all my favorite peeps. Hey, we got kind of like hanging out and not doing much, right? We have retest gap on the SPY. I heard Danny kind of going over this recap, so I'm not going to spend too much time here, but I don't think Danny follows average daily range as much as I do. But I'm looking for a bounce off of that 10 EMA on the SPY potentiality. We got hourly. You can see this big old high wave here. So, yeah, man, I don't know. We may be popping up here and we'll see about the volume. Let me check out volume right now, what volume is looking like. Wow, we're almost about a third of the way, on the way to halfway on our volume. So that's a big deal. That's kind of showing us we're just kind of inside day chopping around, and yeah, looking good. Let's go to the Qs. Got the same kind of hourly on the Qs. You can see it there. And then we got 10 EMA, got the 50, same kind of situation on the Qs. Looks about the same. And let's go check in on the VIX. I was looking at the VIX. Let me go check out the average daily range for a second. It's looking, we're not nice little coming up on a support on the VIX. So keep forgetting I moved this over here. Wow. Okay. So we're probably going to be chopping around quite a bit on the VIX, where we've already made the average over the last 14 days on the VIX. Let's go into, here's that support that I was talking about 14 3/4 down here, the shaved bottom. So I'm wondering if, seems like on the market, what we're going to do is, and we're heading to fill this gap, but potentially come on down here maybe, and then have a little bit of a bounce. Got this potential double bottom that may be in the works. We'll keep an eye on that. And then I always track the Vanguard total stock market ETF. So you can see, kind of just like the rest of the market, we are just hanging out currently. Got that same hourly candle right there. And yeah, cruising. What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing, man? What is going on? Brooke says that Matthew. Okay, did Matthew ask a question? Sorry, I missed Matthew's question. Follow up from yesterday's related to R. I understand how to calculate as learned from RLT beginner and intermediate class. However, I'm unclear as the calculation when somebody says, Matthew, you are hitting it right on the head. So I'll tell everybody this. This is my experience. Not everybody calculates R's the same way, especially when you get involved in options. But what you're supposed to do on every trade, whether it's some kind of day trade or swing trade, say, you're supposed to, well, the way that RLT teaches is you have an entry, you have a stop, and then you have a target. I mean, it's as simple as that. So, and the other thing is that a lot of people don't do is sometimes people are messing around with their R's. So right there, sometimes people will trade 1 R. Sometimes people will trade a half an R. Sometimes people will trade 3/8 of an R, whatever. So the point that I'm making right now is, if you hear people making like 45 R's or, whatever, don't pay attention to what other people are doing. Just pay attention to like what you're doing. Concentrate on the process and not the money. And if you do it right, man, you follow, the examples that Jeremy has laid out in real life trading, I think you have great chances of being a consistent, profitable trader. I'm an example of that. I've never been a great student book-wise, but I've been a pretty good student at all the hard knocks in life. And, I learned from Jeremy, had to take all those classes, just like any other class. I kind of half paid attention. And I learned it took me, 5.5 years to get consistently profitable. So great question, Matthew. If you have a specific question, let me know, but that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to have an entry, you're supposed to have a stop, you're supposed to have a target, and you're supposed to calculate your R's that way. Does that make sense, Matthew? You're taking the 90-day class? If you're taking the 90-day class, then you will definitely be learning about that. And then everybody has different goals, right? I mean, some people, I can tell you this, Matthew, and other new people, if you're making 4 R's a month consistently, that's great. You got to remember day trading. Sorry, I use my brush, but I don't like typing in. Day trading. Well, let's do it on the positive side. Day trading, somewhere between 5 to 10% of people who day trade become become an R successful at that. So if you are a consistent, profitable trader, you can call yourself one of the best traders in the world. So 4 R's right here is going to be life-changing for a lot of people. And that's a lot of people's goal. That's realistic for a lot of people. So just depends on, again, this is your business. And remember, your business is different from everybody else's business. And I'm not just talking to Matthew, I'm talking to everybody. Brooke just took the 90-day class and Jeremy will teach it all. Yep. He'll be going over R's. Him and Matt are going to be only teaching this master class because I guess they're going for a different target audience, but I think it's 7 a.m. Eastern. So yeah. Yep. Nelson, I use TradingView long short position tool for the calculation. Works pretty well. That's what I do, Nelson. You see me do that. Boom. Ooh, not that one. Boom sauce. If you're going short, yellow line's your entry. Red line is your stop. This is your target. And it tells you right there, 1.89 R's. So if you need to set that up, because this is dependent on how you have your R set up. So you can go into settings and just FYI, everybody, you have your risk right there. Make sure that's your R value. Make sure this is USD, right? And then really to articulate it, I don't know why it is, but you got your account size. You got to make a large account size here, because if you don't use a large account size here, if your calculation, it will get screwed up. So what I recommend to everybody is when you go into settings, just put a large amount. Like if you have a $100,000 funded account, you need to make the account size larger than $100,000. And I haven't been able to articulate why it does it yet, but just make sure you have a large account size, and it's not relevant to this tool. Okay. When you set it up with a large amount, this is how it will calculate. So with a $400 R, this is 1.89. If you go here, this is 1.39. And you can see if you go to 1 R, might not be able to get it exact, but you can see this is a 1-to-1 ratio. Sometimes I have hard times articulating things. I would tell you not, Brooke, but you guys can do whatever you want to do. My experience is if you set this to $100,000, depending on what kind of setup you have, depending on I think your risk, it will throw a crazy calculation in here. And if you don't believe me, I'll go show you exactly. Let's go do this. Settings. Let's make this, let's just make this 100,000. Anyway, that's what it was doing for me. And I forget why it does it. Anyway, I don't know. It was doing it for me. Maybe I had a setting that was different, but that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. So it's good enough for me if it works for me. But yeah, I don't know. I use it, Brooke. I used it with a lower value one time, and even a bunch of students in the master class, I think 1 or 2 before you, were having issues. And when we changed it, we weren't having the issues because people were getting the wrong calculations. So we changed it, or I had them change it to a higher value. But yeah, you can do it mathematically too if you want, like CJ is doing it. Maybe they fixed it, Nelson. Maybe it was something, maybe it was a tweak in their software. No idea. All right. Mike says it will clip the shares if that value is too low. Yes, that changes how far your risk and reward appears. Yeah, that's exactly what it was doing, Mike. So like Felix says, is don't worry about the losses. Let's just set it to win 2 Rs. No, we still, Felix, we still, like the way the 10 EMA strategy is, we still look for, you set your entry, you set your stop where that makes sense. It should be where it should be. You look where 1.2R target should be. And then you say to yourself, is it feasible that I can get that reward out of that trade? That's exactly how you do it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They just go in and they say, oh yeah, here's my entry. A lot of people will say, okay, here's my stop down here. And then I'm just going to set this for 1.2. And that's what my trade is going to be. That's not necessarily how it works, I don't think. I think professional traders trade to targets. So I set my targets usually at wicks and pivot points, and I try to see if I can get around 1.2 Rs. You can see me and Danny, we sometimes go for 1.56, we sometimes go for 2.0. So it just depends on the situation. You got to trade to a target. That's where the bulls and the bears are getting in and out of their positions, right? Exactly like this. Don't you think there's going to be some selling up in here? Some selling up in here. So, if you got in here, I know this is just the hourly chart, but if you got in wherever, and you just said, okay, this is, I think my stop needs to be here, and I'm going to set my target to 1.2. And yeah, that's where I'm going to go. That is not the right way to trade, in my opinion, anyway, my humble opinion. My humble opinion is you look at your entry, you look at where your stop has to be, and you then determine, hey, can I get more than an R? In this case, we always like to shoot for really close to 1.2. Throw me a T if you're tracking about what I'm talking about. I'm going into a lot of my opinions today. Does that make sense, guys? And that's why I use average daily range on top of that, because, when you, let's say you have an average daily range of $1.60, do I want to get into something long right here? Not if I have to put my stop here and my entries here, and I know here's some major resistance because of the 10, and I don't have good risk reward. Sure, sometimes it goes higher, right? But all I'm trying to do, by the way, I haven't talked about this. When I trade, I mentally, some people do it on a piece of paper. I mentally say, hey, what are my pros? Sorry about my writing. And what are my cons? And then I go down a mental checklist of saying, okay, it's at support. It's a gap and go. Average daily range, we got enough room. The market is bullish. And then I'll go over here and say, okay, it's got tweezer tops and, whatever. And I balance the pros and the cons. And then if I can say to myself, in my own thinking, my own parameters, if I have more pros than cons, then I'll go with the trade. So remember, your pros and cons are also, your pros and cons are going to be different from my pros and cons, right? Because we again, we have different values of money, right? Are you a wild man or woman, or are you kind of, what's the opposite of conservative? Liberal? I don't know. Not in this sense, but you know, are you conservative, or are you a little bit more risk tolerant? I guess is a good way. That's a good way to think about it, is your risk tolerance, right? So everybody's pros and cons are aggressive. Yep. Yeah, and that also changes for some people depending on where they are in the day, the month, the year, their life with their R's, right? So, yep. Brooke says, for anybody that needs it, here's the RLT video explaining the R system. Thank you, Brooke Baker. All right, let's go look at some stocks. Let's specifically go in and look at the slow-mo. I have a feeling we're kind of like going slow-mo now, but we may go slow-mo and then maybe sell for profit later on. You can see we're kind of right where we started. By the way, too, if I know I showed you this, where is it? RLT, YouTube. I think this brings up my back content, but you know, we have a real life trading YouTube channel, right? So please go subscribe to that. And when you go into the search, you can literally, I'm not exaggerating, we have thousands, excuse me, thousands of videos. You can find a video pretty much on anything that you want. So if you haven't done so, please go into the YouTube real life trading channel and subscribe to that. That in itself, that resource is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. You go into the search magnifying glass and you type in what you do, but I'll do it. I'll do it just for Brookie, because I do it differently all the time. So she's making a good point. So go into YouTube. Thanks for that, Brooke. Go into real life trading.com. Go down here to real life trading. And that's our website, or that's our channel, right? So all the time, I'll come up here and type in, where do you find volume? That's not the place to go to look. This little magnifying glass over here. And I'm going to talk to our gurus on the back end is in global to see if we can change this, because this is kind of ambiguous over here. But like Brooke is saying, go over here, and this is where you type in, and that's where you'll get all our videos. Does that make sense? So let's go in and see what we got for risk. There you go. Look at this handsome devil, handsome and beautiful gal. So yeah, don't use this risk, or don't use this search engine up here. Use this little magnifying glass down here. Make sense? Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, there's literally, here, I'll show you. Let me go into here. This is our back end of our channel. Oops, I don't want to do that. This is our back end of our channel. So you can see we literally have right now, because we've archived a lot of stuff, we have 191 pages of videos. Roger that. Thank you, Brooke. All right. Let's go. Let's do some trading. Let's make some money. 57.30. Thank you, Mike. Now I can quote a number. I've been just saying all these years, thousands. 57.30. Woo! I wonder if Jeremy knows that. We got to tell Jeremy that. He probably knows that. Anyway, we're still climbing higher, I think, towards that target that we talked about earlier. Let's just go around the horn real quick. I'm going to look at my 15-minute around the horn. Square, we had a gap and go down. So we got room to go on the downside on square. Roadblocks, we're kind of hanging out right now, trying to fight higher. Meta kind of chopping sidewards. Delta going a little bit higher. Microsoft kind of hanging out. A little bit of chop on Tesla. All right, Tesla, we broke out. These little tick marks are high and low from yesterday on my chart. I don't know why I put the pre-market stuff on here, but it's not populating. I'll figure out how to do that again later. But again, using my 15-minute chart, I like to look for pivots. You can see we got pivots here. We can call pivots S-curves. And then we got pivot potentially maybe going higher, right? We broke this pivot. So right now we're a little bit more bearish still. We'll see if we get a rollover here. AMD, smoking Joe Frazier, cruising on up. Wow. AMD's on a tear. Amazon, I think some of you guys traded with Danny this morning. Looks like it's still going higher. Who the heck is buying up here, man? I don't know. I'm not buying up here. NVIDIA, looking like we're cruise control up right now, but we're still kind of in a little bit of a chop, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row. Google looking like AMD and NVIDIA. And Apple completely flat. I keep saying I might take Apple off my list, but and then Netflix, we're totally inside. You can see high and low. So we're just bouncing off that low from yesterday, which makes a lot of sense. If you're gonna play a channel, buy low and sell high. All those people need real life trading is what all those people on Amazon need. So we got a nice run up here. That's a bummer when I see this after the fact, because especially because what can happen is this thing can just literally, just as you guys know, just chop back and forth and just continue to follow the 10 EMA all day. And we don't like to buy high. We like to buy when things have pulled back and then go. So yeah, that's what we got right now. Let me see. Let's go into a lower time frame. I want to see. Interesting how square, pretty big drop. Got one target for me, which would be right here. That's one target. Next target down the bottom of this wick, 257 on the day average. And you can see we've made pretty big move on Square. I think Square, I don't know, based on the rest of the market, if we continue going up, I mean, I can see Square bouncing here a little bit, but I think it's going to be a chop fest for the rest of the day on the high. I mean, one way to play this would be enter now, stop down here. Pretty interesting fact that the earnings, they did pretty well. Must be the projections on the earnings. You can see pretty decent on the earnings and the revenue. I like to go into the news. Following the lead of PayPal Holdings with a double-digit decline after earnings. It's usually about the expectations, the forecasts, the projections. So you can see it there. So Square was doing good. PayPal was doing good, doing well. I didn't go to English class very much. Pretty big gap. One would think any of these bulls have gotten out of their position with that gap and or down here below. But if I was in on a swing trade, there's really no S curve here. A lot of people got stopped out when it came down here, as you can see it. And I think potentially a lot of bears might be getting out of their position down here. Does Square ever come back to its glory? I think so. I think, yeah, man. If I'm not mistaken, Block is involved in crypto stuff. I think, yeah. I think it's going to be like Coke and Pepsi, Greg. Just looking at the support level down here. I like when double bottoms, necklines, old ones have down there by where kind of support is. Anyway, we can keep an eye on this. It's pretty good volume coming out of there. We got decent volume, not earth-shattering. Now you got a little doji. Be kind of cute to play this on the high. What is that? 63.47. It's a pretty big stop. Jeffrey, are you just pulling my leg, or I'll show you why. He started calling it cinder block in here. Now, yeah. Now I think he's got to come up with a new name, although he's probably got good reason after this gap. It was either there or maybe because of this. I think it was because of this, yeah. If I'm not mistaken. I thought I hit the day, but I was on the hourly. It's because of this, Jeffrey. There you go. It's called Block now, by the way. If you didn't know, Square changed their name. They changed their name to Block. I still call it Square, though. Jack says Amazon was the only thing I seen that would set up my technique, and you instantly thought it was a bad idea. I don't even remember saying, oh, when I said, why would people go long there? Because it's just way too high, Jack. I mean, there's the target. Can it hit that target? For sure. But I don't know. I think there are better trades out there. It's all about, what's good in your movie theater, if you would. But yeah. Danny went short on that because it's so high up, right? But I would tell you, just my experience, yes, I've seen, trades do this, real strong trades, especially a company like Amazon that's real strong. I can tell you a lot of new people are buying stock right here because this is where, if you look at the POC, down here is where, people are more interested in letting it pull back to. And so my experience is when you get a big gap like this, I think more times than not, it will do something like this. Apple is definitely infamous for doing that and letting all the moving averages, and kind of in my own head, I say, okay, people are just waiting for it to come back to where it makes sense, where the trend was, right? But like I say, on really strong companies, Apple is a very strong company, but on a big gap like this, you do see this continuation going up higher. So, Jack, I mean, different porthole looking out the window of that boat, Well, yeah, I think maybe it's the opposite, Jeffrey. I think probably that's where the retesting came from, is stocks that are gapping up, right? Usually will come back to retest. So yeah. Yes, sirree. Let me go back to Square. Kind of think this is pretty interesting. I mean, we got some decent volume coming in. But again, the problem on these kind is sometimes you'll get just really slow, choppy, very choppy kind of move back up. It looks so delicious, when you're down here. But yeah, let me go see. We moved 490, about $5. Yeah. Let me go look at some Elliott waveage. As far as today's concerned, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be wrong on that. So I want to see if there's any kind of divergence. So I'm going to go into a higher. You can see price action coming down, strength of the move potentially continuing higher here. Hold on one sec. So let's see what we got volume wise. We got not bad volume coming in here. I mean, SPY and the Q still moving higher. It's got some potential. Jeffrey's got 145 puts on Amazon. All right. I mean, it's coming up there. What is that little target? 146. For when is it, Ford? I hope you got some time on it, buddy. You can just, if you're positive, Jack, you can trail your stop. Here, let me go look at it for you. Since you're in it, and I didn't know that you were in it. We got, let me see what we got on the day. 316. I mean, we're at $3.70. Let me see what we got over here for targets. I think probably 144, 145, probably going to be good targets just from a numerical situation. I mean, for me, we're at this target right now. So you can see that is some resistance right at 143. Got a little 15-minute gap. These would be my targets on the way up. 145.50. I mean, the SPY and the Qs are still going up. So yeah, I would just trail your stop and pick a target and rock with that. Let me see. Is that a daily gap? Let me see if that's a daily gap in there. It's not a daily gap. So look for volume coming out of here, Jack. Are a bunch of people selling? I mean, pretty decent amount of people selling. Got almost 2 million shares flowing through right at that candle. You got, I think if anything, we probably would put in a trap up here, but right now you're looking at kind of a, if you break down here, you're looking at a double top. I wouldn't be surprised though if we trap some bears, come back up here, trap some bulls potentially. But this is a double top. So I don't know. Think about, where's your stop at, Jack? Good job, Jeffrey. September. Yeah, I would just, there's really kind of two places right now where this people have their stops. People have their stops here. And I would think probably right at this point right here. Right where this little support area is. Be interesting to see if we take out all these bulls, which, I mean, wow, it's really, it's plausible. You know, we gapped up, we could come down here, take out this low and just chop around. Very plausible. Tesla trade double bottom. Let's go look at Tessie. You see what we got in Tessie again. 1007. Why do I keep doing that? Somewhere up in there. That's pretty nice little target right there on Tessaroo. It would seem like we need some kind of pullback. 15-minute, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. The bottom, lot of bears potentially trapped here. Yeah, I mean, I'd like it much better back here. Back at VWAP. $59. Somewhere down there. About somewhere $2.50, $3. Somewhere like that. I mean, you got the hourly down here. Hourly 10 crossing over that 20. That's good. That's a nice bullish signal. If we can get that crossover, that's sometimes a big if. Jeffrey's 259.50 by 257 tracking. Wayne is 259.25. Good $2 stop right there, Wayne. Good job. And Jeffrey's got a $2 stop. Yep. It looks good. We could come somewhere in the middle. Got like to stay below that. Again, got to see where our targets are. Next target's potentially up here. To like to see where my 1 minute 100 is. We shouldn't come down there, right? So I think maybe, yeah, I like kind of like that stop too. Who had the 50? Wayne had the 50 stop. 257.50. Yeah. I like it. We got, let's see what we got for risk reward. $1.49. I like it. We could put something in there. Retest that VWAP, retest that 3 minute, 15 minutes. Got to remember this 15-minute 200 right here. Wrong line, Johnny, wrong line. 15-minute 200, 15 minutes. Gonna hit some head button. This looks like a nice target right here. I think I'm going to put that in. We'll give that one a try. The old college try. Tessie, we got 259.45 by 257.50. Let me get that in my broker. I'll put that in the chat pane as soon as I get it's in Slack. Buy limits. 259.45. Buy limit 259.45. Okay. Jeffrey. Hey, Chris Tom. How you doing, man? Chris Tom and Rob. What's going on, dudes? Thanks for joining us. Jeffrey says Apple is looking very interesting. How's it looking interesting to you, bruh? Yeah, Roberto. Potential double bottom 10 EMA. Really haven't looked at any kind of, well, we got definitely support there. Retest gap. I don't know. I see what you're looking at now, but I mean, the market's still climbing. If it continues to climb all day, I'm a little concerned about this, though. Concerned that with the 10 EMA right there, obviously. Also, we got to remember we're about out of juice potentially on the Qs, so we may not have that much more room on any of these, including Tesla. Let me see what kind of pullback we're at. $5.0 pullback. Looking at this volume is pretty good. Compare this volume, you know, to like some of this volume in here when we were climbing. This volume looks pretty good in here. Got an inverted head and shoulders. I mean, this looks good. Just we got the Qs and all that stuff up above our head. Chris says, do things seem kind of flat? A little bit, Chris. A little bit flat. I mean, we are slowly kind of going higher, right? But I think it's the Aloha Friday blues. I think the volume's kind of going lunchtime volume kind of, you know, down, kind of cruising on up. Kind of at resistance. Hey, give me 30 seconds, guys. So yeah, I mean, we'll see if we I can understand what you're feeling. It does kind of seem flat. I think it's just because of kind of slow volume. Luke says, hey Johnny, if you were to rank your favorite times to least favorite times during great question. I'm laughing, Luke, because I don't know, this Lunchtime is definitely not one of my favorite times. For me, the very beginning of the day is usually not my favorite time. So I would say, great question. I would say the beginning of the day is not my favorite time. Lunchtime is actually not my favorite time. And then obviously towards around 9 o'clock-ish, that's when I'm calling it quits on trading. 9 o'clock Hawaii time. So anytime in between here and here for me, those are kind of my favorite times. Does that make sense? Great question, though. Yep. Yep. What time do you stop per EST? Oops. I stop at 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Rob. Or who asked me that? Ron. Tony trades options. So here you go. So here's in the market today. So Tony trades, options because of the volatility. It's a great time to trade options in here. The reason why I stop like around 3 p.m. Eastern is because you're either going to get into a trade that shoots right to your target, or you're going to run out of time. A lot of times, just my experience, because definitely, when you're getting to the last half an hour of the day, this is just crazy nuts. So a lot of times, if you're in here, then you may not be able to hit your target. A lot of times I found out that I'm having to take partials or get out before I really wanted to, never hit my target. I used to trade up to like 9:30-ish, but pretty much 9 to 9:15. I'll take something around 9:15, but no, absolutely no later. If I think I can get my stop in the green, then I'll go that late, but otherwise kind of shying away from it. Yes, good question, Ron. All right. Let's did we get triggered in? Not yet, huh? Tesla. I didn't get triggered in yet. Did that hit 50? Hit 53. Ha. I mean, this is a good trade. We should be able to lose less than an R. Should hit the 50. I don't know if I'm going to hit the 45. There we go. Ding dong. So Jeffrey and Wayne, I think you guys should be in. We got to hold the line. Whoa. I didn't want to do that. I want to do something like that. Okay, let's see if we can hold this channel, boys and girls. Throw me a T if you're in Tesla. I got to set my stop, set my targets. I think we can get up here, no problem. Probably since it's Friday, probably going to take 1.2-ish. I think we should be able to get up to this resistance, no problem. I'll throw in, what is that? 261.78. I may adjust that as we go, but for now, let me put in my stop. My stop right now going to be 257.50. 257.50. That's my stop. My target is going to be 261.78. 261.78. 261.78. 2.6178. Sell Tesla limit. Sell stop. Roger that. See, I got to repeat that to myself like 20 times before I get it right. Sometimes I fat finger it. Sometimes I fat brain it. He'll move it himself. Mr. Bezos is up only 14.4 billion today. Poor guy. Aren't you feeling bad for him, Rob? How about Mr. Musk? We need Mr. Musk to hold the line over here. Let me throw that in there. And get rid of some of this hogwash. Throw my 10 EMA chart on there. Looks like we could potentially come down here for this wick. I really don't want to, I don't want to get wicked out. You know, I mean, we could put our stop up a few pennies, but I think I got to hold the line for now. So, all right, who's in this bad boy? Anna's in, Cameron's in, Serge got a put. Doug is in. All right, let me get this in Slack real quick. Not looking great for us this particular moment. We're still in here. Good trade setup, I think. Nice little bullish trend, buy it low. Let me take that shot camera, get that in Slack, but not looking great right now. We got to hold the line. Got a big old engulfing candle right now. Serge says, July is stunner for me. August 1st is great. After that, struggling over trading. Need to take a step back. Thankful for capital preservation rules. Yeah. That's why you don't want to day trade with all your whole account, right? Kind of wish I would have had my stop a little bit wider just so I could lose less than an R. This potentially is going to be close. It's going to be either, I think, we'll see if this can hold the line or not, but it might be a full R loss. I'm willing to take that risk right now. Really bad time frames. Zoomed out, give a grid perspective for the day. Don't need giant moves to be profitable. happened so many times. I count them all. Larger time frames really have helped a lot. Does it keep me from getting a winning trade? Yes, it does. But yep. Great perspective, guys. Ron, am I too late to enter Tesla? I mean, especially now. I mean, you do have, if you want to wait for the 10 EMA, I don't think it's too late. You're going to be buying higher, or if, yeah, either way, I think you're going to be buying higher, but right now you're under the 10 EMA. So I don't know. I'm right now I'm 50-50 with it because we haven't hit this. I mean, we hit our trend line, but our trend line isn't as strong as this support. So you could throw a wick down there. I mean, we still got pretty good volume. I think the bulls are outpacing the bears. I don't think it's as good of a trade if you got in right now as what we set up, retesting this place down here where the VWAP, you're under the VWAP now. So things definitely aren't on our side, but we bounce out of this trend. It's kind of 50-50, Ron. If I was not in right now, I probably would be waiting, to set something up like this. If you're thinking long, I mean, what is that, 257? Something like that below here, to me is better than what you got right this second. Because right now we're just in the middle of the stratosphere, Serge says, don't you think Tesla will go sideways all day and finish with a doji? I don't think so, Serge. I wouldn't have gotten in this trade if I thought that, but I can see what you're looking at. I mean, we're basically kind of stuck in the middle of that channel, but yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about. I mean, the reason why I got into this, really the big reason is because of this inverted head and shoulders and this trend right here. Got a nice pullback, and then you got an inverted head and shoulders that could potentially trap a lot of bears over here. That's the reason why I got into it. But I can see definitely what you're talking about for sure. And if Cindy says it's going to work, then, man, why wouldn't we think it's going to work? So now we're breaking this trend, which is not the greatest thing in the world. We're hanging out here. I think a lot of people anticipating a double top right here after this big move. We're at resistance, 10 EMA. If you use your imagination a little bit, could say we got a big, hairy, kind of a, got to use your imagination a little bit. But, we either had a failure there or failure there. So that's looking kind of bullish for me. Double bottom, launch, retest, kind of funky in here, right? Shouldn't have really retested here again. Amazon double top. What we got? Wow, talking about targets. Look at that. Woo-wee. Double top right at target, right at resistance. Nice. Right at average daily range. Beauty. We'll see. Again, on stocks that are like super strong, not always follow through on like a little one, but it looks awfully good. It looks good, at least down the VWAP anyway. I don't know. I don't think we're going to do this, me personally. I don't think we're going to do that. We might be doing this. To me, this makes a lot of sense because the stock trading gurus know a lot of people are taking some option plays up here and they want to wear them down, have that theta wear it down. So just be careful about your theta going too far against you there, Jeffrey. Google fade was similar, Adam says. You talking about this? Yep. At least Jeffrey has till September, so he's got a lot of time. Lots of time to make some money. Oh, this one over here. Yeah. That was kind of a short one-day deal. But yeah, this is kind of what I see more often than not. And it's really, when you think about it, after a big old gap like that, it's nothing more than a flag continuation pattern, right? Flag or pennant up here. I do agree. Luke says, if something gaps up, do I consider that average true range? Luke considers gaps. I use average daily range, which does not include gaps. So average daily range will just include the high and the low during the trading hours. Average daily range versus average true range calculates gaps into it. So some people use average true range. I was using average true range for years until TradingView came out with average daily range. Something like, I don't know, I can't keep track, 9 months, a year ago, probably more like a year ago, they came out with average daily range. And I just, I use average daily range because one, it works for me. But two, I just like to know, the range of a stock. They both are averages, right? So yeah, I mean, average true range will calculate in the gap, right? Or probably from here. Does that make sense, Luke? Some people use average true range. Some people use average daily range. DraftKings is doing the same. Yeah. Are you talking about kind of that slow roll? I would call this a bigger. This thing didn't even, it launched and then it immediately went to the downside. So to me, this is a little bit different of what, like, I think that was happening here on Google, over earnings. DraftKings, looks like to me a little bit more of, whoop. little bit more of a woo, you know. DraftKings. We got $1.25, well past average daily range. 3 times. 3 times the lady. The Commodores, man. I haven't listened to Commodores in. Let's go listen to some Brick House. Luke says, nice. I never knew there was an ADR. I only knew there was an AT. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I used average true range for years, but average true. There it is. And the TradingView community, all kinds of different ones, but I got average daily range. Adam says I was in for a small win on that first bounce. Nice job. Hold on one sec, guys. All right. Ted says, wow, I'm impressed by your trading skills, but you just look at it you just took it to the next level. Wow. Thank you, Ted. Man, I never take a compliment like that lightly. Well, I never take a compliment or a criticism. I use criticisms to say, okay, is this true, or does the person just not like me? But thank you very much, man. Wow. You just made my day and weekend, Ted. I'm going to cut and paste that and put it on my forehead. Thank you very much, Ted. I appreciate that. Wow. What a great dude, man. Thank you. Amazon may be setting up for a short play. Let's go. Just let me check in. I haven't checked in on my Tesla. I do have it on my other screen, but where'd it go? It's looking, just so everybody can see it. Let's pray for an S curve out here, guys and girls. I mean, makes sense, right? I really need to get a higher high now to move my stop up below here, but that looks pretty decent. Amazon, let's go look at that. Amazon. Adam says Amazon. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. When you have such a strong move, and I mean, it can roll over still, but I've seen this, just my experience, I've seen this on strong move plays with big companies, is they'll do this, come back, and, you know, stop some folks out before they end up going back down. But where's the POC? Is POC down below? Yeah, I mean, POC's down here, so I'm assuming we're going to get down here, somewhere down here today. See the volume. Check out the volume. I mean, we are making lower lows. Kind of got like this going on. What do they call that? A megaphone? DraftKings rebound. Yeah, I never did finish looking at DraftKings, did we? Did we fill this gap? Filled that gap pretty much. Thanks, Ivo. Dang it. That was the play, man. That looks like our PayPal from yesterday. Whoo! Ivo's on it. Let's look for a double bottom on this, Ivo. I mean, we should retest that 20, pull back a little bit. I mean, like this dump, great place for a double bottom here. Didn't see a bunch of super good volume down here though, but I think we pulled back again. I mean, this is the place to, it would make a lot of sense to bounce right here, wouldn't it? But I wish we were in this. I mean, not necessarily that tight on the stop, but something down here anyway. Let me make sure. Jeffrey says buy off the 10. Yep. Yeah. If you want to put in an order here, that wouldn't be a bad play. Just to go ahead and put an order in. Where can we get back to the VWAP? So we can have our stop anywhere down here. Let's see what else is down here. Got the hourly, got the 30. Got a lot of stuff, man, to hold you up, you know. 30.91. This is a 10 EMA play right here. Could take this if you don't want to miss it. Less reward. What do we got down here? Got kind of a little bit of a support area. I like this a lot better if down lower. What is that? 31.29. It's about $1. It's a pretty big stop. Let me see on fib wise, what do we got? Fib wise, I mean, wow. 5-0 retracement right there. 382 right there. That's the one challenge, is this stop. Makes sense for the stop to be under here, but this is a lot safer. Here comes that kind of like this play. I like this play a lot better just because we're so far underneath that. And we're underneath that support area. And we got plenty of room. What is that? 30.91. It's about what, 60 something cents. $90, 70 cents, 60 something cents. Let me count. What I'm thinking though is what I'm a little concerned about is this potential like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, brush. Yeah, we may be. I'm going to wait on this. I'm going to see if I can get a better read because I'm thinking this makes a lower low. Could actually do something like that. Because that's pretty good little support right there. I'm just thinking from a wave count perspective that we're potentially going to make a lower low here. Let me just sneak in Tesla. Still haven't made our dang higher high here, but time to move up our stop, I think. What time is it? 6:35. Still kind of lunchtime. Let me see what we got real quick here. Don't really want to break this trend down here. Got the 5-minute 50. Still trying to have patience so I don't get wicked out. I'm going to wait a little bit on moving that stop for now. $74. DraftKings, I got 30.74. Man, I think we should be able to lose less. I'll go with that. 30.74 by 30.12. You get that in my broker. DraftKings, just trying to buy really super low. Buy and thinking that this is gonna potentially be a wave 5 down here. 30.74 entry. $30.74, and then I'm going to put in an OCO order. Well, we'll leave that. We'll leave that entry. DraftKings buy limit 30.74. I may adjust this. Submit. Yeah, I hear you all the way down here. Rock, you're gonna join. I feel so much better when Rock is with me. If we don't get this, we can take a 10 EMA here. I mean, this is kind of nirvana. If this is your 4, catch a 5 right down here. There's all kinds of support right down here at 30.62. Let's go look at some POCs. Yeah, wow. I mean, with this candle, I don't know, we got this great support, but with this candle, I could see us not necessarily today, but if you want to take out some bulls, the volume really wasn't that great on this candle right here. That day, you can see kind of a lower volume day. I mean, obviously people like to buy this down here. So we got good support down here, but I could also see this thing coming down here Monday, or Monday we may get a bullish candle, trap some more, and then come back down. Phew. Who said it? I think Chris Tom said it. Everything moving like molasses. Weekly 200, already retested it, didn't we? Yep. Weekly 2 down there. What's up, Lee Min? DraftKings may retest back yesterday high, 30.63. Daily 20 EMA around 30.25. Got the 20, faux sure. Yep, concur. Thank you, Lee Min. Superstar. The things that I'm counting on are just this support level down here and volume. Had a lot of volume come in here, so, but yeah, absolutely. When Lee Min speaks, I listen. Johnny Miller, what is going on, dude? Nice job, Ron. Wow. Superstar extraordinaire. I almost want to get out of Tesla while we're in the green. Don't like the price action. Got the Qs and the SPY still going up. And yeah, Qs going up and Tesla just hanging out. Let's see what Ronnie did on Carvana. Did you yell that out to us, Ronnie? Kind of engulfing, close to engulfing this candle. 559 on the low. Wow. Still got some some room. What do we got here? Nice bounce off that 100 on the 15 Manito. Ah, 100 MA 15 Manito. Ron says 49.40. 49.40 by. Nice job, dude. Ah, come on. Serious? Could adjust that. I would give it a penny or two above that. What is that? 31.33. $31.33. Adam is 30.63. Okay. Got it. Looks like it's going to double bottom out of here, but let me just move this over. 30.74. A lot of times they'll throw in a wick and then come back down and then go. Rock, this is your stock, man. You're the one who has control over it. Nice volume breakout on Tessie. Hopefully. Just for now. Tech to stop 257. Tesla stop 257.79. 257.79. 257.79. All right, got my stop. Come on, girlfriend, just give us a Friday, Aloha Friday gift. Look at that. Rock doing exactly what we just told it to do, man. And there it is, Adam, my nemesis. That 100. I guess we could, there's no rule that says we can't set this up, right? And then just cancel the other. We can have two setups, right? Ah, that's right. It's Friday for the rock star. Might have to do this. I'm going to set up two trades. And if we get in on this one, then I'll cancel the other one. DraftKings, I got 31.33 by, let me just give it a little bit more room because just in case we're going to make a lower low. 30.53. Let me get that in there. DraftKings. Rock, you going to be put in 2 trades with me? $31.33. Somebody remind me, please, to cancel one or the other. I don't want to go to our risk. Chicken tender pub sub. Rock. Brooke, do you gotta? Ivo, John, what PT you have on? What's PT, Ivo? I'm horrible at acronyms. Sorry, man. Target. Profit taken. I got 61.78. To 61.78 target. Where's this 15-minute 200? Yeah. If we get up here, I'm going to stick my stop in the green. Somebody yell at me if we get up there. One minute. This is one challenge with that. If we get, what kind of target is this? We got overlapping. It seems that way, Ivo. Always this nemesis of mine has something to do with this trap. We should come down here now, right? We should lower this entry, I think. I think I'm going to lower this entry a little bit because it would seem like with this trap right here, 74, it's got to come down below that. This is time of day that I'm sitting on my palms, but this week I saw that this is still good. Is there anything specifically that we should consider during the late hours, considering this volume is low? Great question, Ted. I mean, yeah, I keep a track of, like time is definitely a big factor. time and just price action, volume, and moving averages. I mean, those are all the things. We got plenty of time still. I mean, we got time for this thing to come down and then make us some money, because especially I think we should be we should hit our target, I would think. Although this is a little bit of a target right here. Let me see what we got right there. Yeah, but time is the biggest thing. You're right. But you got to weigh all those things together, right? You got to, your risk reward, you got to make sure that you got time allotted where you can hit that 1+R trade. Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? We usually don't get into trades for a 1-to-1 risk reward return. So it's all based on that risk reward. Luke says, I'm looking at ADR on CTAS, anticipating a bullish hammer by the end of the day. Does ADR mean it could move up $6 from open, or is the wick considered? So wicks are considered part of that ADR move. CTAS. Good question, Luke. This one, CTAS. So average daily range, ADR is top to bottom on the wicks. So $6.78. Yeah. Of course, it's just an average, right? So we're right there at average daily range. But that's the difference between the ADR and ATR, is that the ADR just is from the wick to the top, or the bottom to the top, right? ADR on this candle being top to bottom, right? Top to bottom. That's the ADR. Good question though, dude. All right. What happened? Rock, why is this thing moving like molasses in the Antarctic? Might cancel these. Let me see what volume is. I mean, this is good news. Operational excellence, widening its competitive gap. $274. Just looking at volume. What does Elliott say? I mean, got to keep this open, yeah. I think this is 1, 2, 3. what do I got? I got 74. So we said what? 30, 70? 30, 70 by, I'm going 30.08. That's what I'm gonna go do. DraftKings 3070 by 3008. So I'm changing my trade setup. Ivo, have you seen my email? No, not yet, Ivo. I didn't check emails this morning. I will check it after you get off the mic. How long do you think your trades last on average? I wish they were all like PayPal yesterday, but that's a great question. Wow, that's a super question. Unfortunately, I would say probably somewhere around, well, the good and the bad, right? The ones, some of them get stopped out immediately, but average trade that's like a winner trade, I probably would say it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. That's a great, great thought, Mari Mar. Luke says it's moving like a turtle wearing. I love that. Can I use that again? I'll use it in reference to you, Luke. Yeah, that's, I never really actually thought about that, Mari Mar. That's a really good question. Like this Tezos, how long we been in this thing? What time did we get in? About 6 something? Yeah, so I mean, looking at this, maybe hour and a half, I think is about appropriate, because the ones that work, they'll either shoot up like PayPal yesterday or just are a pain in the butt and take somewhere around there about an hour and a half, or immediately get stopped out. I don't know how you would average that. Luke says, all mine. Mike says you should add time to your tracking list. Fill me in, Mike. I'm not tracking. Unless Ivan calls out the trade. Ivan, I don't know. I'm not tracking, Cindy. Who's Ivan? Are you talking about Ivo? Maybe you fat fingered it. Ivo, okay. Mike says, don't you keep a trade journal? Yeah, Mike, I do. Why? Oh, what you're saying is keep track of each time. I don't know, what would that do for you though? Because I get some that go, I get some that here's my entry, and some that go immediately like that. Some I got, here's my entry, and some go like that, like PayPal yesterday. And then others, here's my entry, here's my stop, here's my target. And they either go that way or this way. So I'm not sure. I don't know how I could use that. How would you use that? I guess that's a good question. Because I'm sure you're smarter than I am. I do that for swing trade. Oh, yeah. Swing trades, definitely. No question, especially when you're using options, right? No question there, my brother. Kind of want to get my stop in the green here because we got a higher high. We're going to make some kind of low. Yeah, great point, Mike. The cues, I'm a little concerned about the cues here. So I think I'm going to put my stop in the green. Probably going to get trailed out though. Either that or just sit through this. I don't want this to come tumbling down, which look at all those bulls that are going to be trapped. And we really don't have too much holding us up. And the 50 right there too. Son of a gun. And we've gone our average daily range. I think I'm going to put my stop in the green, guys. I might get trailed out, but I'm going right here. $259.75. 259.75 stop. 259.75 stop. Realizing it's probably coming for this wick. Good chance we'll get a bounce here, but I just don't like the look of this. Rather make a little bit than nothing at this point. Anytime, Jack. That's what it's all about, man. The team. AMD. What you looking at? AMD at 116.90. You're looking to buy down here or looking at now is AMD 1690 if it pulls back, but need a head out for, oh, okay. Sounds good, man. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Yeah, this looks like a lot of things need to pull back, right? That wasn't messing around up there. We better go in DraftKings and see what's going on. I'm still keeping both open. If for whatever reason we want to blow out of here, but seems to me, I don't know. Seems to me, if anything, the cues, we just pull back a little bit, maybe to this target right here. It seems to me like a nice little place to pull back to. And then we could continue back up, trapping the bears more. Luke says, do you have a best to worst day of the week to trade? You know, Fridays seem like they're really tough. But other than that, I mean, Mondays, I know Jeremy really likes Mondays. I like beginning of the week. That's a great question. Yeah, Fridays is a tough one, seems to me. And Mondays, it seems like Monday, Tuesdays are great because there's a lot of volatility, a lot of movement that's coming in early in the week after the weekend. That's just for me. Or even anything like your favorite time of the month is third week of I don't have any favorites as far as month is concerned because I don't do that much option trading. I'll do some protective puts. I'll do put sales. I'll do covered calls, collars, but yeah, I don't do trades. I don't do credit spreads pretty much. And very rarely will I like buy some calls. I'll sell calls, but that's another great question. Man, you guys are filled with great questions today. Johnny Miller says, I've been waiting all morning for an opportunity to short AMD. There you go, my brother. Wow, look at that. I would just be careful about getting trapped. I mean, you could risk an R and take this. That's pretty gorgeous. But for whatever reason, my experience, especially again on strong stocks, I'm more of the thinking that they'll come down, come back up, and then go. But wow, man, I mean, if you want to risk an R, this is a place to do it. It's almost like, why don't you just give it maybe 2 or 3 pennies? Right? Yep, I agree. I agree, JM. See, now it's going to make us take a 10 EMA trade right here. Pretty close to our entry. It's got to make a lower low here. It's got to. Rock, what's your entry? Did I put it down? I hope I didn't put it down too low. Adam's got 72. I know we might, I don't know. I hope we're not down to like a penny too low. Okay. When Rock says something, especially no questions asked on DraftKings, then he is our resident expert. Did anybody throw me an S if you moved your stop into the green? No, throw me a G. A G. Throw me a G if you threw your stop in the green. If not, say R for still in the red. I've stopped out on green. Okay. Got trailed out, yeah. AMD. Jeffrey's in the green like me. All right. Rock, what are you, brother? Jeffrey says AMD on daily chart is about to take out all the bear volume on earnings. Gonna be a blast off after that. Do you have a crystal ball, Jeffrey? I want to know. There's the trap. If it does, 96. Wow, that was 10 cents. I don't know. That might be going down. I think the Qs continues. Just a little bit of a pullback and continue higher. That will help our Tesla trade. Kind of want to, I don't know, Rock, should we cancel this? I just don't like the way it's moving. And time's getting, I don't think we have time to get up here. I'm going to wait. I mean, it's probably going to bounce here somewhere, but I just don't know if we have time for the reward. Let me see. We could always play a 10 EMA on the north side. Yeah, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to cancel this for now. Just because it's moving so slow. Cancel DraftKings. I'm going to cancel it anyway, guys. If we had, if it was earlier, I could see it. Where's 1.2? That's for learning lessons anyway. Usually when I cancel things like this, they'll work. They'll work then. 31, 33. I'm seeing where, because my stop would have to be there. I'm sure some people have a tighter stop, but yeah. It kind of is the same thing like Amazon, right? Just an opposite. Amazon, so strong, just keeps going up. If you invert your chart upside down, right? So, yeah, I canceled all my DraftKings. It just doesn't seem like it's moving. Yep, canceled both of them. What kind of volume do we have in these candles? Quite a bit of volume in there. Let's go find something else. Let's go find something else to pick on. Meta. $9.45. I think, to me, this kind of sums up where we are today. I think there's a lot of indecision for people. They're kind of waiting till next week. I think this kind of sums it up. Ah, man, now I'm going to get trailed out on Tesla. Hold on a second. Double or lower highs anyway. Double top. See if we can get this bounce here. Sometimes my friend, sometimes my nemesis and sometimes my friend. I forgot to look at that before I placed my stop. But if we break down from here, this is just such an outrageous target on the downside. That's a lot of volume. Nah, not that much, yeah. Just looks like a lot of volume. It's only 242,000. See what we get on the bigger side. Still kind of low. Loady-do. Not everybody convinced yet. Okay. I just want to see what this does. And then Meta. Meta looks like, I was going to say, looks like a decent opportunity to go higher. 9:45 on the Mets. I mean, got room either way. It retested. Pretty good target up here, 9:45. The thing being is the Q's is at its average daily range. So I think we may just get some chop back and forth for a bit. I think any kind of entry's got to be really tight. We entered this as a short position. That would have been the setup. Probably would have had to have stop up here. 1.2 would be down here. Let's see what kind of pullback potentially. Right at about the 5.0. Looks like a pretty good place. Yeah, maybe keep an eye for a bounce here. AMD, what happened to AMD? AMD kind of hanging out. I think still think we have this potential. I mean, here's the 3-minute 50, which we usually bounce off of. Do something like that, and then come down here, and then go higher. Hughes, we're kind of like, looks like we're kind of just S-curving, right? Um, 90-day class. Yeah. I mean, I roll with the flow. I got a lot of stuff going on anyway, so kind of good timing to take a little break, focus on my other coaching stuff, and all things happen, I believe, for a reason. So I'm kind of not happy. I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I love hanging out with my teams. Johnny Ringo says, exit, they work after you exit because Ken Griffin over at Citadel is personally watching you trade and wants to mess with you. All right. That's a good conspiracy theory. Actually, I have no idea in the world who Ken Griffin is. Ken Griffin. Ah, that Ken Griffin. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you, Shawnee B. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's always good to change up things here and there. Potential, just looking at this little potentiality here for some kind of reverse. Looks pretty gnarly. All right. There's bounce situation. Did anybody take this DraftKings trade? I mean, it seems like it could get into the green, but it almost seems like we're coming down to this 20, like Lee Min said. Nelson, where you going, man? Have a great weekend, dude. Thanks for your inputs today. Shawnee, man, you're being too nice. Thank you so much. Let's do it together, bro. Let's make some money together. Let's do it, my man. Now what could we do? Fill the gap and underneath here. That's a big day on the old DraftKings. That's a big, big day. Just out of curiosity, I like to look and see, like, sometimes like where trends are. So take this and then say, wow, is this thing coming back potentially down here? Because kind of you don't have really a trend here, but you kind of have an uptrend. Let's go on a bigger scale. All right, trailed out. Made a few bucks. That should be right where it reverses, Jeff. Anybody getting anything short? Square looking like, I don't know, man. I'm getting this inkling just that we're still going to go higher. We got plenty of time. Whew. Mets. Hammer time. Delta Dawn, what you got on? Back down to the VWAP. Nobody took anything short? Don't you hate when that happens, Shawnee? Brookie is in PayPal. Yell him out, Brooke. You got to yell him out. 10 EMA up here. Holy tornado. Here's the first 10 EMA. Which 10 EMA did you take? Here's the second one. Here's a third one. That looks nice all the way down to those wicks. The Amazonian. PayPal. 63.59. This first 10 EMA. Great job. What kind of support we got down here? Got some supportage. Yeah, I mean, at this point, looks beautiful. Great job. NVIDIA just pounding all day. Came down, beautiful support, no brainer, bounce off of that. Gorgeous. Google. Nice hammer filling in on 5-minute hammer. What kind of volume we got? 600 thou right off that hourly 20. Stuck in the middle with you. Got the hourly 20 here, and then the 10 and the hourly 50 there. Hourly 50. I mean, it looks like it still can go higher. Brooke, where did you have your stop? It looks like a 2-hour trade already. If I was going to do this, if you went short there, if you took that bad boy short, stop, maybe like that. Okay. I mean, 30-cent stop kind of makes sense. Sometimes you gotta say, where am I going to be wrong, right? Because if it came back once that breakout, I mean, you could have a retest, but kind of like this is the area, kind of like where you'd be wrong. And if you give that, just a few pennies, so you can lose less than R, because if you know you're going to be wrong, bring your stop down to 0.7, and then, yeah. Because I do that too. I have more of a habit of making wider stops, so I make sure that I lose a lot less than an R, but it has a lot to do where you are in the month, right? With your R's. If you're up a little bit and can be a little bit more risque, then you can get, look for that little bit of a tighter stop and say, okay, if it comes down to here, put your stop there. But I could see what you're looking at, because that's only like 33 cents. So you can't lose. That's the good news, right? That's the great news. You've been in the video long for 3 hours? What the heck? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And you can't lose. And so that's the great news story. The great news story. Jeffrey says, here comes Tesla. It's always the case, Jeffrey. Wherever I put my stop, it always bounces there. Chris Tom says, I tend to overcompensate with my R's also. Well, It's really good when you can always lose less than an R, right? And if you can get a point where you're hitting 1.2 Rs or at least getting your stop in the green like this, right? Let me type in trailed out. Trailed out Tesla. Still got some time to do some trades. I'm not feeling anything bearish right now. I mean, we got this. This is just my gut feeling. I guess your gut gets in the way sometimes, but I'm having a feeling we do this. I don't know. It's just my gut feeling. I can't explain it. Maybe my experience or something. I'm right 50% of the time anyway. I mean, down here, possibly. I'm probably going to stay on the bullish side of things. And we missed the 10 EMA trade already, right? I mean, you can take a second one or third one or fourth one, but I'll sometimes take a second or third one. But in this case, because I mean, you got the VWAP pretty, I mean, not the VWAP, the 200 pretty far down here. This is a pretty good target. I don't know. I'm just not feeling bearishness now. It broke this trend, that's for sure. That's a pretty cool trend line right there. Look at that, Shawnee B. I don't know. Don't let me talk you out of it. If you want to go, it's all you, my brother. I can't explain what I'm feeling. I'm just feeling like we're not, I don't think we're coming bearish. The trend is your friend. Maybe that's what's in my head. Amazon, we got 15 double top. Yep. Thank you there, Jeffrey. And then DraftKings. What's DraftKings doing? Coming right down like Lee Min said. Eddie says, Eddie, you're on host and panelists. If you could change that to everybody, it would be much appreciated. So everybody can see your thoughts, questions, ideas. Is it worth entering into Tesla if you are only using $5,000 to invest? A lot of risk for a little return. Where do I even begin to answer that question? So Eddie, the way I only trade is I have a risk unit, right? And in day trading, let's say it's just $400. So for every single trade, I risk $400. So I get in, and based on the calculation on your entry and your stop, and then target, the most that I can lose on any single trade is my R. So that's excuse me, hold on one second, I'm losing my voice, hold on. Sorry about that. So it's hard for me to answer your question because I don't know if you're using this methodology or not. But if you say that you are only using $5,000 to invest, if I had a $5,000 trading account, then my R would be, how do you do that? Is that right? My R would be greater than or equal to, I'm sorry, $50 or less. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't worry about this. Because what real life trading and Jeremy teaches is trade with about 1%, sometimes 2%, right? If you're an experienced trader, but usually about 1% of your trading account size. So in that case, I would say my risk would be $50. So on every trade, I would be risking $50, and I would set it up entry, stop, target, or entry, stop, target. Does that make sense? Okay, that makes sense. I do use 2.4 Rs. What do you mean? You use 2.4 Rs? So R, again, the way that we teach it, your risk on a trade should be somewhere around 1% of your trading account. In this case, what you're telling me is your trading account is $5,000. So your risk, your R, should be $50. That's if you buy into the way that we teach. You don't have to do it, obviously, but that's how we teach. Does that make sense, Eddie? Okay, DraftKings. Okay, I have to go back to the RLT spreadsheet. Yeah, Brooke posted, there's a video on figuring out R and all that. And also in the beginner classes, if you go into our beginner classes, I'll show you where it is. So if you go, well, on your dashboard, you should have a dashboard. Beginner trading class goes over the R system. I don't know where exactly. There you go. How to calculate risk. 2.4R, what Jeremy said, free beginner course. That's because back in 2020, he figured out it was easier. Oh yeah, in the old course, he used to talk about 2.4Rs, but in this, we pretty much, all the beginner vids, even this one, I thought this newer one, it was changed. Okay. Yeah, so Eddie, what Brooke is saying is, I thought the new class, we had that changed, but Jeremy is talking about, again, if you have a $50 R, he's talking about your target profitability, right? So if you have a $50 R and you go for 2.4 Rs, what is that, 120 bucks? Now with the 10 EMA strategy, which is what we're teaching predominantly for beginner traders to use, then we look for a 1.2R target. So you can see like the Tesla trade. See my entry yellow line, stop loss down here. See this 1.22? That's the profitability that we were going for, right? So with the 10 EMA trade strategy, that's what we use. Make sense? Hey, Eddie, if you need help, holler at me at Jonny@reallifetrading.com. Are you signed up or are you here for the free week? Are you signed up in the all access pass? Because you can either Slack me or send me an email if you need help with that. Issue is that he hits his total $5,000 limit on the account prior to covering a $50 R on a $250 stock. I had same issue when I ran in, had a $10,000 account, dropped the R to $30. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with a $50 R, you can't trade some stocks. So it limits you on what you can trade when you have an R that's lower, down lower. Absolutely. Eddie says, free week, did a mentor course I can explain by email. Okay, sounds good. Look forward to talking to you, my man. Let's go in there and see what we got. And there she goes. Tesla moving like Methuselah. Square, not a bad, don't really have great volume though. I like this look. It is a double bottom, but man, what is the volume on this candle? Oh, volume's not bad right there. Oh, that's 15-minute. Hold on to your sauce there, Superman. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Challenge is with the Qs, if it does what I think it's going to do. Yeah, we got some room. Got some room to go. Adam, DraftKings, I just don't like how it's been moving. I don't really. That's quite a bit of volume that's coming out here. Not bad. I still think, yeah, we can still be in, if this was that 4 like we were talking about, this can still be all 5 right here. And with this 20, if I was going to take it, I'd much rather be down there at this point. Now, if we had something like this down here, I'd be more inclined to do that. But the problem is, by the time we get down here, we were talking about time earlier, right? It's going to be about, maybe depending on how slow, if we come down here, we're going to be running out of time. Here's 9 o'clock. This could be double bottom area though. I love my double bottoms when they're right down here, like at this support level. Good volume coming out of here, so that makes sense on a double bottom. Pretty decent volume coming back up in here. Where's the 3-minute? Yep. So this looks potentially okay. I mean, I would probably wait for this high though, because we saw it. Where was it? Right here. It's being a trickster. What's it say in your plan, Lucen? Are you allowed to trade again with 0.4? That's interesting. Because if I was 0.4, I wouldn't be allowed to trade again. I thought you were at the same thing, 0.25. Okay. Yeah, anybody can. It's just whether that makes sense or not, I guess, right? If you're at 0.4 Rs, are you going to risk another trade going into the red when probably you got 0.7 stop first, then 0.5? So kind of doesn't make sense to trade if you have that in your plan, to me anyway. That's just me. Just simple old me. Trying to find a loophole, are you? Are you going to tell us if you ever go into the red? Because I want to know. I want to see that video. Now I got you. All right. Well, I think we made the right move on Tesla. Unfortunately, it didn't go where we wanted it to go. Right now, anyway. All right. That's a good thing. That's a good thing there, big guy. Kind of like this meta trade. Got support under. See, I can trade again because I'm not at 0.25 Rs. Yes, sir. My max loss is 2 big ones, big guy. I don't like to go there very often. Two Rs. I try to stay away from that as much as I can, Adam. 786. This is potentially not a bad. I don't know. Meta is not one of my favorites, especially when we're like in this channel, and I like to either sell up here or buy here. and we're right in the middle. I don't really like taking trades right here. Brookie says, since yesterday's session didn't record, according to Danny, he was recording. Did it not? I'll check. Send me a message later and I'll check and see, because I can go back into the back end and see. But will you say again your personal rules regarding the R's for the day? Okay. All right. Does anybody want to hear because Brooke, if not, you and I will do a little Zoom together. Does anybody super quick? All right. Brooke always grabs my arm, twists it behind my back, gives me a chokehold and says, Johnny, just do what I'm telling you. All right. So everybody knows we go for 1.2 Rs, right? Because if we're risking an R, we want to try to profit more than what we're risking. We always try to lose 0.7 Rs or less, right? That's our job, guys and girls. So when you set up a trade, if you are following Jeremy Alexander Newsom model of how we trade, how us moderators anyway like to teach and go by, this is what I go by. If you're losing 0.7 Rs or less, then, and also remember that I think if you're a 50-50 trader and you know how to do this and mitigate your stop, you're going to be a consistent, profitable trader. So 1.2 Rs, we're looking for minimum of a win. 0.7 Rs or less, we're looking for the max for loss, right? So in that case, we will be left with 0.5 Rs, correct? If you win one, you lose one, you'll be left with 0.5 Rs. If you have 0.5 Rs every day, that's 10 Rs in a month. 10 Rs, if you're doing 10 Rs consistently a month, you're going to be a rich Mojave Jobby, right? Even if you're making 0.4 Rs a day, you're going to be a rich Mojave Jobby, right? So so everybody's tracking on that, right? So we're risking whatever you're risking, whether it's 50, 100, 200. I'm risking 400 on day trades. We are looking for a 1.2 R win. We're looking for a minus 0.7 R loss, and we'll be left with 0.5 if we're 50-50 traders. Tracking? So for me, what Brooke is asking is, Jeremy's plan, absolute, says if he's in the green, 0.01 Rs, then he's not allowed to go in the red. If he goes in the red, then he's got to run around Walmart naked during Thanksgiving or Christmas, Black Friday. So anyway, if he's at 0.01, he can't go in the red. Johnny, and I think Lucen and some others, I know Thomas Wong, I actually stole this from Thomas Wong. If I'm 2.5 Rs or more, I'm not allowed to trade. If I'm 0.24 Rs in the green or less, then I can trade. Because the way that I think about this is, if I'm at 0.24 Rs and I lose the next trade minus 0.7, then What am I? I'm at, what am I? Am I at 0.5 minus 0.551? Right? So I took my first trade, whatever, I'm at 0.24. My second trade, I lost 0.7. Second trade, I lost, or second trade, I lost 0.7 Rs. So now I'm at negative 0.51. I can still take another trade, right? And if I win 1.2 Rs, then I'm going to be done for the day, because then I'll be back at 7 Rs and I don't want to risk going into the red, right? If I lose this trade, say for sake of argument, I just lose, I'm a bonehead and I lose a full R, then I'm down. I took 1, 2, 3 trades. I'm down 1.51 Rs and I'm done for the day. Right? Is this 0.46? Is that right? 0.46. Then I'm down 1.46 for the day. Does that make sense? Tracking with a big T. Brooke, you asked the question. Okay. Yeah. Because even if you're up 0.24 Rs and you lose that next trade, I mean, at the most you should be down is like 1 point, what is that? No, the most you should be down is 0.7 Rs. Jeffrey's trying to get me in trouble. What time is it? We got an hour? Thank you, Jeffrey. How wide do I want to put my stop is the question. I would rather it be down here below this 20. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Adam. Exactly. And see, that's what I'm a little worried about is we talked about like Amazon, right? I mean, Amazon, was up, and it was just doing this chop thing before it rolled over. I'm worried that running out of time, because with Amazon, you had all the time in the world, right? It's all about risking an R here. Unless you go something pretty huge. $76. I mean, I'd probably have to go $1. And I'm not going to have time. Even as such, I'm not going to go right there. Even as such, I would have to put my stop like right here, so I could lose less than 7 Rs. And then even if I lose 0.7 Rs right here, so I'm somewhere like around point like 0.2 or 0.1, 0.5 Rs, right, with that Tesla trade. So if I lose 0.7 Rs here, then I'm going to be in the red, right? I'm going to be in the red right here. I'll be in the red and I'll have no time whatsoever to try to make that back up. So that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Does that make sense? It's all about risk, reward, and what makes sense, profitability, right? And we're very early in the month, so I would rather be stacking a little bit of wood, right? Stoke that fire. What I don't understand also, Adam and Jeffrey and everybody, is this is what's going on the VIX, right? I mean, this is going on the VIX, and we should be doing this on everything. And then on DraftKings, we're going up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not comfortable with this. Tesla, we're pounding down, so that makes sense. Roblox, Meta. Wow. See now, yeah. I mean, look at this. I mean, too bad we didn't take out these wicks, but
Johnny,
really nice little
what did you do to the
area.
market, bro?
What the heck?
What did you do to the markets, homie?
What the heck? What are you doing, man? You scared the heck out of me every time you do that.
That's all my goal is, man. That's all I want. It's like,
dude,
I'm waiting for my time and I'm jumping. I'm just going to be like, hey, Kramer this thing every time.
Dude, I was so tracking that I got one more hour to get into another trade. Thank goodness you came in.
Yeah, I was about to take the afternoon off, man.
Woo!
I just loaded the boat into puts on SPY maybe an hour
Did you really?
ago. Yeah. And
dude,
I'll show the chart post on Slack to prove it, but back here, let's see, it's yeah, right here. What time was that at? 10:50 a.m. Woohoo!
10:50. What East Coast time?
That's 12:50 East.
12:50 East, 6:50, right up in here, right up at the 10 EMA.
Right there.
Nice job, dude.
Lay it off that 10, man.
Nice
Go
job.
work out. And I come out of my workout and I come here and you pulled the plug on the drain, man.
We got this little bit of support down here. Looks like we're coming for these wicks for sure to take out all these bulls. Dude, over to you. I won like 15 cents, but at least I won instead of lost. And I'm going to be kind of careful about what happens from here. But thanks for coming in, dude.